Hello everyone, welcome back to a Minecraft video. This one is all about sugarcane, and I will show you how to plant sugarcane, what sugarcane is used for, and way in the back there you can see 2 out of the 3 common farming methods I will go over in this video. Alright, so first, how do you even farm sugarcane? Well, sugarcane is required to be next to a water source. Well, not even a water source, it can be a flowing water block. I don't know really how to show that here since I put down all source blocks, but you can put it to next to flowing water blocks, just trust. And then it can also only be placed on a certain set of blocks, like for example, I am currently clicking and I cannot place it on that sandstone block. The blocks that it can be placed on are grass, sand, red sand, dirt, coarse dirt, rooted dirt, podzol, mycelium, moss, pale moss, mud, muddy roots, and suspicious sand. Um, I actually never went over generation, so I'll do that real quickly now. On the sides of rivers, oceans, lakes, and such, mainly rivers and oceans, you will find sugarcane planted on any of these blocks. Mostly these two, but it could be on any of these. Actually, I don't think about mycelium, but whatever. So, if you're having trouble finding sugarcane, grab a boat, go down a river, and you'll find some sugarcane eventually. So that's generation. It always generates next to a water source, so that's why I suggest going down a river, since there's 2 valid spawn locations to your sides, not just one if you go down a shoreline. But what is sugarcane actually used for? Well, sugarcane, you can do 3 things with sugarcane. You can either craft it into sugar, bone meal, well, you can compost it into bone meal, or you can craft it into paper. Let's go over this sugar tree real quick since it's smaller. Sugar can be crafted into fermented spider eyes, pumpkin pies, cakes, or you can brew it into a swiftness potion. Um, you can convert it into bone meal using a composter. That's regular stuff like put a hopper on top of it or just continuously right click the composter. Um, Going back to farming real quick, on the Bedrock edition you can bone meal sugarcane. On Java you cannot. Back over here. The paper can be crafted into books, which are very useful for enchanting, fireworks, which are useful for late game travel. They can be crafted into cartography tables, banner charges, or maps. And here you can see a map of my creative world. Maps, you don't just craft the maps, you can also put them into a cartography table. There's proof this is an actual cartography table. And then on the Bedrock edition only, you can use an anvil to expand the map. Additionally, you can also use these 2 blocks to expand the map. Okay, so here I am in my personal survival world. Do not expect content. Here to show the first of the 3 farming methods, placing sugarcane next to naturally generated source blocks. And I do not recommend doing this if you have a bucket. If you do have a water bucket, I highly recommend creating an infinite source somewhere, and then building one of the other 2 methods I am going to go over. And you see, this method is pretty simple. All you do is you take some of your sugarcane. Actually, I farmed all the sugarcane that I could. But you take all of your sugarcane and you just plant it next to the water somewhere where you'll remember it or see it so that you remember to actually farm it. But once again, I do not recommend this farming method. And before I get any comments, no, this is not my actual sugarcane farm. And yes, I know my tools are all screaming for help. I am not going to repair them. Alright, so here is the first method of, well, the second method technically, but the first one that's an actual built farm rather than just placing sugarcane next to naturally generating blocks. And I like to call this the stripe method since you can very clearly see stripes of water, or I guess strips of water, but I'm not calling it that method. And this farm, and I built both of these in one chunk. I was going to make this video about, oh, that farm over there is much better, but they both have their practical uses. So this one, in the chunk, there's 256 blocks. 70 of those blocks are water, or 27%. 36 or 14% are air, meaning that they are regular land blocks that can't be placed sugarcane. And then 150 of those blocks are for sugarcane. This farm is not very compact, but if you only have a small strip of land to work with, that's when you can build this farm. Or if you just want to build this farm without needing any, if you just want to build this farm right off the bat, say you just place down your bed, crafting table, furnace, and chest in an area and immediately want to get into paper without having to think, this is the perfect farm for you. But from this chunk, how much sugarcane will I actually get? Well, let me go into survival mode so I can show you how much sugarcane you're going to get from this. Okay, so from all that, I ended up getting 4 stacks and 44 sugarcane, which is not a bad amount for a farm this size. Unless you're going to actively use paper as your form of getting emeralds, you should be alright in the paper department. Or unless you're on a server, let me turn off hitboxes real quick. Or unless you are on a server in which there are a lot of people using elytras, then you might want to build this next design over here, the compact sugarcane farm. And it's called the compact sugarcane farm because if you look here, once again, it's a one full chunk, so there's 256 blocks, but 52 of them, or 20%, are water, 12 or 5% are those blocks that can't plant sugarcane, which I have listed here as air, and then 192 or 75% of them are sugarcane. That's the wrong button again. So, yeah, this sugarcane farm is the compact design. It is, I, I think it is the most compact sugarcane farm. And this will be useful for if you're using emeralds to get all of your, or if you're using paper to get all of your emeralds, or if you're on a server in which everyone uses fireworks. Then you have enough paper to keep yourself an emerald supply, but also a paper supply. Or if you're on a server, you have enough paper to supply everyone with fireworks or supply whoever has the creeper farm with paper so they can make the fireworks. But let's see how much this sugarcane farm gives. Okay, so from all that, I ended up getting 6 stacks of sugarcane. Not a lot more than the stripe design, but it is quite a good amount, especially if you grow and expand this farm. The amount of sugarcane you will get is, of course, more, but this puts more sugarcane in a smaller area versus if you used that farm. Um, so now, if you have all the information that you need, like both of these designs and everything, then yeah, that'll do it. But I do want to show you how you can build these designs for yourself. So I will quickly jump back into creative mode, and then I will show you how you can build both of these farms. So first I'm going to show you how you can build the stripe design. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick out your piece of land and then just dig out a strip of blocks like that. Next, you want to go 2 blocks away from that strip, and then you want to place down, and then you want to dig yet another strip of another strip for water, and then you want to go another 2 blocks, and then you want to continue this process all the way down. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to place down your water. And now, because this is a strip, what you can do is you can place water on the ends, depending on if the strip is short enough, and then that is all the water that you are going to need. If it is not long enough, like if we extend this one out a little, like let's say we extend that one out a little bit, it's not long enough, so you can just go into the middle, place down another water source, and that should be everything taken care of. Now I am going to fill it back in to the desired amount, and you just want to ensure there is water on every block. After that, once you have all the holes filled in with water, you want to place down all the sugarcane next to the water. And once you have all the sugarcane placed in, that's farm complete. I don't know why I kept moving there. Input lag, I guess. But once you have all the sugarcane placed, that's farm complete. Now, at this point, you just have to wait for the sugarcane to grow, and then you should be able to reap the rewards. And next, if I quick fly over here, you should be, and next if you fly over here, I'll show you how to quick build the compact design. So you want to go anywhere in the field that you want to designate as your sugarcane farm, and you just want to break a block. Anywhere is fine. It could be in a corner, on a side, or like here, it can be in the middle. Next, you want to go 2 blocks to the left and up 1 block. Next, and you want to continue that pattern until you reach the side. Then you want to go back to your initial hole, go to the right 2 blocks and back 1 block. You want to go left and forward, right and back. And then once again, you want to continue that pattern all the way until you reach the end of your farm. Next, you want to go 3 blocks forward and then 1 block to the left. And then you want to continue that pattern until you get to the end of your farm. And then you can go back 3 blocks to the right until you reach that into your farm. And then from all these holes you created, you want to continue the left 2 up 1 pattern. After that, you want to continue the pattern by going 3 to the left and then back 1. And then from there you can just do the forward 1 over to pattern like so. And then once you have all the holes filled in, you should see a pattern like this. You should see squares, and then each square has 1 hole in it, and then you just want to fill in all of these holes with water. Additionally, you want to make sure that in every cardinal direction there is 4 blocks between each of the holes, like you can see here. From here, there's 4 blocks to that one, 4 blocks to that one, 4 blocks to that, and then 4 blocks to that one. All of these holes should be filled with water. Once you have all of your water holes filled with water, you can go in and you can plant your sugarcane. And once you have all the sugarcane planted, that is farm complete. During the collection process, if I just quickly open up chat, during the collection process, you can probably see over here that I showed hitboxes. And if you're on the Java edition, you can show hitboxes by using F3 and B. If you're on Bedrock, you cannot, unfortunately, do that. You just have to you go through, be thorough, and make sure you pick up all the sugarcane. But on Java, if you show hitboxes, you will be able to better see the items laying on the ground. So I'm back here in my survival world to show you something that I like to do with my sugarcane farms. First thing, as you can see, the farm that I opted for here is the compact design. Since I'm going to be working a lot with librarians, I'd like to have the paper trade, and books will be nice as well. But that aside, something that I like to do is I like to put down slabs over the water so that I'm not constantly falling into all of the water sources. And then on top of the slabs, I like to put down torches for spawn proofing. Sugarcane can actually grow in a complete dark room with no problems. So the torches here are purely for spawn proofing the area so that I don't get jumped by a creeper while I farm. But the main thing is putting down slabs. That way you don't fall into the water sources as you farm sugarcane, no matter which of the two that you end up deciding to build. But in terms of the sugarcane video, that's just about going to do it. Yeah, that's about going to do it. That's everything about sugarcane, 3 common farming methods, and how to build 2 of them. And catch you in the next one. See ya.